Have you ever noticed how a single conversation can follow you long after it ends? You're lying in bed, showering, walking outside, and suddenly it plays again. The tone, the pause, that one sentence you wish you had worded differently. You didn't choose to replay it. Your mind just pressed play. Here's the psychology behind people who replay conversations in their head, and more importantly, what it says about you. Let's start with this. People who replay conversations are not broken, they're not weak, they're not overthinking for no reason. Their minds are doing something very specific. Let's decode it. You have unusually high self-awareness. People who replay conversations tend to observe themselves from the outside. While others live in the moment, you review the moment. Psychologists call this high self-monitoring. You notice your tone, your expressions, your timing. You don't just ask, what happened? You ask, how did I come across? That's why your brain replays conversations like footage. It's trying to evaluate your social performance. The upside? You're emotionally intelligent and socially aware. The downside? Your mind doesn't know when to stop evaluating. Takeaway? Awareness is a strength, but it needs boundaries. Your brain is obsessed with preventing future regret. Your mind believes one thing very strongly. If I replay this enough, I can avoid messing up next time. This comes from anticipatory regret, a cognitive bias where your brain tries to protect you from future embarrassment or rejection. So it replays past conversations, looking for mistakes, searching for patterns. It's not living in the past, it's rehearsing for the future. The problem? Most conversations don't repeat themselves. Takeaway: preparation is useful. Perfection is not. You're more sensitive to social cues than most people. Some people miss signals. You collect them. The silence after your joke, the delayed reply, the half smile. Your brain stores these micro details and replays them later. This trait is linked to high emotional sensitivity, not insecurity, sensitivity. You're tuned into emotional frequency others don't even notice. That's why your mind replays conversations. It's processing emotional data. Takeaway: sensitivity is insight, not a flaw. You confuse reflection with problem solving. Reflection helps you grow. Rumination traps you. People who replay conversations often believe they're working things out, but psychology shows rumination doesn't create solutions. It creates loops. Your brain thinks, if I analyze this one more time, I'll finally feel done. But the feeling of done never arrives. Because reflection asks questions, rumination repeats them. Takeaway: growth requires insight, not repetition. You have a strong need for social harmony. You don't like tension. You don't like unresolved energy. If a conversation feels even slightly off, your mind wants to fix it. This comes from a high need for social cohesion, a personality trait where emotional balance in relationships matters deeply to you. So your brain replays conversations asking, did I upset them? Did I misunderstand? Did I break something? Even when nothing is broken. Takeaway: caring is powerful, but not everything needs fixing. Your mind is wired to focus on what went wrong. Negativity bias. Your brain gives more weight to negative moments than positive ones. 10 good interactions, 1 awkward sentence. Guess which one replays? Your brain believes negative moments are more important for survival, so it replays them loudly. This isn't pessimism, it's ancient programming. Takeaway: your brain is loud about danger, not truth. You grew up needing to read the room. Many people who replay conversations learned early to be socially alert. Maybe conflict felt unsafe, maybe approval mattered, maybe silence meant something was wrong. So you learned to monitor, to analyze, to replay. Your mind became skilled at scanning for emotional signals, and now it does it automatically. Takeaway: old coping skills don't always need to stay active. You struggle with emotional closure. Some conversations end cleanly. Others end mid-sentence emotionally. If there's no clear ending, your mind creates one. Psychology calls this the need for cognitive closure. You replay conversations trying to finish them, to make sense of them, to give them an ending that feels stable. But life rarely offers perfect conclusions. Takeaway: peace doesn't always come from understanding everything. You associate social mistakes with self-worth. Here's a quiet one. When conversations go wrong, you don't just think, that was awkward. You think, what does this say about me? This links to conditional self-worth, where your value feels tied to how others perceive you. So your brain replays conversations like evidence review, searching for proof. Takeaway: your worth isn't up for cross-examination. You're more conscientious than average. Conscientious people care about impact, about responsibility, about doing things right. That includes conversations. You replay conversations because you care about consequences, about clarity, about alignment. It's the same trait that makes you reliable, but also mentally restless. Takeaway: conscientiousness needs compassion to stay healthy. Your imagination fills emotional gaps. When information is missing, your imagination steps in. Maybe they didn't reply yet. Maybe their tone changed. Maybe you didn't get feedback. So your mind creates possibilities and then replays them. This is tied to ambiguity and tolerance, discomfort with not knowing. Your brain would rather imagine something even negative than sit with uncertainty. Takeaway: uncertainty feels uncomfortable, but is not dangerous. You're actually processing emotions, not words. People think they replay conversations because of what was said, but most of the time, it's because of how it felt. Embarrassment, rejection, connection, tension. Your brain replays conversations to process emotions that didn't get released in the moment because you stayed calm, polite, composed. So the emotion waits until you're alone. Takeaway: unfelt emotions always ask for attention later. You're mentally rehearsing alternate versions of yourself. Every replay contains a better version. The version who spoke up, the version who stayed quiet, the version who said the perfect thing. This is counterfactual thinking, your brain simulating alternate outcomes. It's a sign of intelligence, but it can turn against you, because no version gets to exist except the one that already happened. Takeaway: growth happens forward, not in rewrites. You're trying to regain a sense of control. Conversations are unpredictable. People are unpredictable. Replaying gives the illusion of control. If you understand it fully, you won't feel vulnerable again. But real safety comes from resilience, not rehearsal. Takeaway: you don't need control, you need trust in yourself. You think overthinking means you care more. Somewhere along the way, your brain learned this rule. If I stop thinking about it, I'm careless. So you keep replaying to prove you care. But caring doesn't require suffering. Concern doesn't need obsession. Takeaway: caring can be quiet too. Now, here's the truth. People who replay conversations are often thoughtful, emotionally deep, observant, sensitive. They notice things others miss, but their minds don't know when to let go. The goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to stop punishing yourself for thinking. You don't need to erase conversations from your memory, you need to stop living inside them. And the moment you realize this, the replay slowly loses its power. If this felt like someone was quietly describing your inner world, you're not alone. And if you want more videos that decode everyday human behavior like this, subscribe to Curioset, because understanding your mind changes how you live with it.